Bring it on. Want some, get some. Can I get a hell yeah? Yes, I am a pirate. You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything.
It's a pirate's life for me.
Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're a pirate.
It is a first down. Pirates.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
I think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there.
We will get Omaha. I can promise you that.
Painted purple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
Yeah. My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down to my soul. And I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
All right. Welcome in to Extra Innings, Season 7. And this is episode number 3. As you see, yours truly. And, man, need a lot of help tonight from the audience, from the viewers and listeners. So we appreciate you very much. As always, tuning in. Tonight is very special because you'll get to play a major part of the show. We're talking Pirate baseball as the Pirates had a good week overall, I think. Disappointed, obviously, with Friday night, but they do win a share of the LeClair Classic, their 14th in the series of the tournament, if you will. And, of course, winning against Old Dominion. So what's that, 3 out of 4 off the top of my head? So what's up, Justin? I see he's chiming in. But glad to have you with us tonight. Big week, obviously, for the Pirates, as we said it would be a great homestand. So if you get a chance to see the Pirates this week, then obviously disappointed with the North Carolina loss overall. That's right. We had North Carolina on Monday. Wednesday was a big win against. We bounced back against Old Dominion. And then we took 2 out of 3 on the weekend. So overall, I think that we could be satisfied, especially that North Carolina series is going to fare better for us than we expect because of the RPI. They are one of the best teams in the country, making no excuses. But I thought we played very well with them overall. Monday, it is what it is. And then you move on to Wednesday. I thought the Pirates did great bouncing back. I think Friday night was disappointing, but this team overall, I will say, for those of you watching and listening right now, this team is they're already showing signs of getting better. And the one thing that I've told a lot of people off air, and I think last Sunday night, but this team has a lot of talent. We just don't have the experience. We're very young. And the good news is overall, we're going to be much better. As the season goes on. A lot of these guys that are freshmen, by May, they're not going to be freshmen anymore. They're going to have a lot of experience. So we look forward to talking about that. Just want to get your thoughts. Maybe you have questions and comments. That's what's great about this show. As we wrap everything up and we then preview, obviously, a busy week again. I know Coastal will be coming in this weekend. And then, of course, Tuesday, we're at Segra Stadium against Gardner-Webb. So we'll be able to talk about that. And Justin, how did things go with umpiring? He's always doing a great job umpiring, I know. But I know that's going to be a big sight on Tuesday night. We'll see how – we've had a tough time with Campbell. So we'll see how we do at Segra Stadium against Gardner-Webb. I feel like we should win that game, but you never know. You have to play the game. So, again, love for you to be a part of the show tonight as we're episode 3, and we'll have our player of the game and pitcher of the game. We'll be talking about that. Justin says, wow, he said, first of all, what's up, guys? And then 7 ball games this past week. So I guess your wife is happy because you're away from, no, I'm just joking. She's probably the opposite. I would imagine she's not too happy that you did that. So anyway, glad to have you a part of the program tonight. As always, we're early on in the show. If you're just joining us, you can, my Twitter handle, as you see on the screen, if you're listening, it's @RichmondDavid on X. So anyway, Let's see. He says he's going to be down in Craven County for a big county match Tuesday night and down Lenoir County on Thursday. So if you want to catch our good friend Justin Butts, and you got to get that big out sign, right, Justin? Or is it safe? So I know you'll do very well as always. And he keeps me in check. I try really hard not to to talk bad about that. Hey, by the way, I got to give a shout out. I know we're doing baseball, and I promise you we're going to do baseball. Before I forget, congratulations to our basketball team. What an exciting victory today. And I was telling my mom and dad, I stayed home today to rest up. I don't know about you guys, but I've had sinuses, and then the nose, a little bit of coughing. It hasn't been fun. And I'm finally starting to feel better. But anyway, I stayed home today because I rested a really long time. I slept in, never sleep as late as I did this morning. But anyway, I had to stay home today to rest up, because it seems like my schedule gets busier and busier and busier. So missed out on, obviously, the Keith LeClair Classic and the basketball game, but 17-12 for Mike Schwartz and the Pirates. Hey, I have to say, love Coach Schwartz. And as you guys know, I've said that many times, he's a really good guy, knows a lot about basketball. And we've won now 5 out of 6. So anyway, let's see. Justice says, so you think we put a bid in for postseason? Absolutely. I'll tell you what, stranger things have happened. As we know, a couple of years ago, we rattled off, 18 or 20 in a row. It didn't look like we were going to be hosting. It was looking like we were going to be on the road at a regional, and then boom, you have it. So I say yes, I would put one in, but it's obviously way early in the season. I know we're one game under 500, but we're at 5 wins now. Coach Godwin, I believe, is at 26 games. He has 402. I believe that's right. It's either 26 or 27 to surpass Coach O, who is a dear friend of the program. And I know Coach O said the reason why he's happy about it is because that means the Pirates are winning, and Coach O has dedicated like his entire adult life to that. So anyway, so congratulations to that. You're talking about basketball too. Well, I've heard that as far as the CBI is concerned, we would not do that. Yeah, so it looks like, I don't know, to be fair, I heard that maybe the whole tournament is down in Orlando or in Florida somewhere. But I do believe that if it's me, let's say that I have a feeling we'll win 2 or 3 more games. I think we're going to I really believe we'll have a 20-win season. There's a good chance of that. And I think we have 2 regular season games and then the tournament off the top of my head. So I would say if it's me, I believe we could easily win 2 or 3 more games. I would say 20 wins is what I'm going with. And if we have 20 wins, we have a shot at even the NIT, maybe. But I would say that definitely CIB. But, we should be, Justin's right, we should be somewhere postseason. Thanks, Justin, so much for helping me out. If you want to post your comments or questions, it's me solo tonight, so we're going to do the very, very best we can. And why not? We have a lot to talk about. And as far as basketball is concerned, 17 wins. I'm really, really happy for Coach Schwartz. So, yeah, Coach Gary Overton has 427 wins. So it's 26 wins. 26. Coach Godwin has 402. So we'll be watching that as it gets closer and closer and closer. But Coach, thank you, John, very much for that. And Coach, of course, John was with his coach, was Coach O, and Coach O is always going to be a legend, and we think the world of him. And it just talks about how great this program has been for a long time. So Will says, Justin, good to see you today, brother. And Will's a great part of the program, as well as John. So appreciate you guys chiming in as always. And we're going to do everything we can to keep talking about Pirate baseball. Just want to get your thoughts overall on the season. Maybe you want to talk about the season. You want to talk about the, I had some folks ask me off the air, so it has nothing to do with the show. So let me say that very carefully. So people in Greenville don't think that this is me. And they were like, "Are you worried about baseball?" And I said, "Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would be more concerned if we were in a talent deficiency standpoint, but not. But as far as this is thinking about that this afternoon because I knew we had the show tonight. I was thinking about this is what makes college sports what it is, and I'm serious when I say this because you get to see these kids that come in and they're freshmen, and all of a sudden a light bulb goes off, and all of a sudden they become what you think they were or going to be. And then all of a sudden it's off to the races, so to speak. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys mature. I know that it's great to see like Dixon Williams. He's on fire. I'll tell you what, man, that Pruitt was very special today. And coming out of the bullpen, man, that guy, if he keeps it up, if we can keep, I tell you, that's another thing as always with a season. But my only concern would be with injuries, if we have a whole bunch of injuries. But otherwise, that's my concern every year. But especially this year, that would be my one concern. But otherwise, I feel very confident about this team because there's plenty of baseball. As Coach Godwin said many times, it's a marathon, not a sprint. If it was May and we were struggling, maybe. But again, another thing about Coach Godwin, Palumbo and company, they play a very difficult schedule, and you want to do that. You don't want to have a whole bunch of wins right now and it mean nothing when it comes tournament time. So we'll see how basketball goes, and we'll keep our eyes obviously on that. And then baseball is very young in the season, so hang in there. And certainly, again, we'll take your questions as we talk about the different games. Obviously, the first game on Friday, the Friday night game against Kent State, I thought was a game that we could have won, and we ended up losing that game 7-6. 7-6. Just disappointing. We had a chance. We could have won that game, and of course, you're looking at the stats. The seventh inning with those 6 runs in the seventh. That was the difference, man. That was the difference. That's a really hard inning, and you just have to. You just have to move on from those kind of games. So anyway, and then obviously yesterday with Indiana State, the Sycamores, it was nice to get a big victory for us there. We ruled that one 13-1. So that's pretty awesome. And then here we are today. Really proud of the Bats. It was a tight game, a pitcher's duel, if you will. And then we win it today. What was it, by 5 runs? So great to see. And Will, thank you very much for chiming in. He says, I have a lot of more optimism for this year's team after attending yesterday and today's games. Cliff will coach these guys up, and hopefully we hit our stride at the right time. I heard somebody, by the way, Will say that this is going to be, you watch it now, okay? This is not my statement, so I don't want to take claim for it, but I agree with it. They said that this will be Cliff Godwin's best coaching job ever as a Pirate or just a coach, period. And I agree with that statement. I think that when you look at this coaching staff and how hard they work, and those guys are working so hard, man. I don't know how they do it academically. I don't know how they keep up with the schedule. They do. But any of these athletes work extremely hard. You look at the grade point average that our kids have, and then on the field, they are going to be very special. I really believe that. Thank you, Will, for chiming in, because I agree with you wholeheartedly. And it's only a matter of time. I think when you look at our schedule ahead, we got Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina is going to be this weekend coming up, and I'm telling you guys, I am so excited to have them. Tell you a quick story. When we played them in regionals a couple of years ago, and we were hosting, and unfortunately, I had jungle tickets that year, and it was very frustrating because I absolutely love the jungle. Let me just say I've said this many times. I love the atmosphere in the jungle. My issue is I have a hard time really being able to follow the game that I want to. I wish we had TVs out there as far as like in different places so we can kind of have the fans in the jungle are simply the best. So I don't want to sound like I'm hating. It's just that I really pay attention to the game. And I've said before, put in center field 23 club. And if you want to have a bar out there and you can have people with this big Megatron television that maybe we could have at, but all the money raised goes to the baseball program. And I think that there are a lot of us who would be out there and we're watching on the big screen. And there's a lot of people, especially when it comes to regional, super regional, it's a lot of dead space out there. And I would love to take advantage of that. But anyway, what do I know? I'm just a guy that has streaming a podcast at least once or twice a week. So anyway, we're talking Pirate baseball. Glad to be with you here as always, and we'll be with you for the next like 45 minutes. If you're watching or listening live, it's 9:00. We'll try to be out of here. So I thought overall, I think that yesterday was kind of a breakout point for us to get those 13 runs. Really happy to see that. Happy for the bats. I think that's going to be great. And then Justin just put this up here. He said, you just wait, the best days ahead. And then he said, tough schedule this year. I agree with you, Justin. It is a tough schedule. And he said, don't get me started, Dave. We lack premium spots. So I'm just saying I'm not critical of the administration. I think when you look at this, when you look at the baseball expansion, which we're getting ready to do, I think if you look behind me in the right field area behind first base, I know they said they can't, but I think we could add some more seats there. And I do believe, believe there's potential to expand the stadium some. So we could look into that for sure. And especially when this isn't a situation where I'm delusional when it comes to interest. There's a ton of interest in this program, and we are eventually going to be a top 20 vote. I wanted to add that from earlier, by the way. I believe we'll be in the creep into the top 25 by May or April. So we'll see how that goes. But I think they're going to go on its hair. It's baseball, and they will. Let's see. Will says conference as a whole looking much better this year, top to bottom. I agree, Will. I think we're going to see something good for that. Let's see. Justin Butt says supposed to be like a Harvey Hall football type thing from what I'm told, where you can eat, hang out on this deck and have your regular seats. That is correct. It's like an observation deck, I guess. And so it's if you look at where third base side is, that's where I sit. It's going to be expanded down the left field side. So I can't wait. Cliff Godwin has come on the show numerous times, and grateful for that. I love Coach, and talked about that. And it started back, we talked to him during the COVID year 2020, and just and when the media day happened, I talked about that because it's been 5 or 6 years. Justin is going to be in the parking lot. You're not going to be there. Is it going to be the Butts observation deck? No, I know you'll be out there, and hopefully you'll be nice enough to let us come on your deck there and spend time with you. All right, let's see. Jonathan said bats are looking a little bit better. I love Godwin's strategy, rotating in more batters into the lineup. Great point, Jonathan. That crossed my mind. Certainly, we've got that's the thing. These guys just need experience. So however they can get experience, you're going to hear that a lot this season. I think that's a storyline, is that word. And again, I'm grateful for the job our coaches and support staff, everybody does, because these guys are going to be coached up, and they're going to be, man, they're going to be so good. I am really, really happy. Oh man, here's Justin. He said he's going to sponsor the bathroom. All right, well, maybe I'll get a urinal or a stall. I don't know. Maybe I can get that out of it. But anyway. So we have a great crowd. Thank you so much again for being a part of the show as we're giving you our show every Sunday night, Extra Innings, right here on the Sports Objective, Season 7. And by the way, while I have a chance on this show, I want to mention that myself, we opened up a great, and Mark Holiday in Williamston, we opened up a great thing. It's called the Snack Shack, 101B on West Main Street in Williamston. And if you're in the Williamston area, if you know somebody lives in Williamston, come on. We have ice cream, we have snacks, candy. We have a big announcement this week, adding to a quote-unquote our menu. I will tell you that. And it's going to be really, really cool. It's going to be huge, as somebody I know likes to say. And so we're going to have a lot of fun there. We have live entertainment every single week. In fact, Thursday we're going to have just for you. Let's see. Thursday we'll have trivia. Friday we're going to have a board game night and cards. If you like to play cards, come on out Friday night. And then Saturday, I know we're going to, I assume we're going to do karaoke again. We'll see, but it's going to be a lot of fun this week. If you want to have a birthday party there, Justin, if you want your birthday party there, you can come on. I'll blow up some balloons for you, and we'll have the cake and everything for you, Justin. But anyway, I wanted to mention that to come on and see us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have 7 televisions, as we are not a big place, but we have a lot of different activities. And if you like today, I watched the Pirates, and we also had on the race, the road course for NASCAR. So it was a lot of fun this afternoon. And then I came around 7 o'clock back home to do this show. So glad we'll have to broadcast soon from the Snack Shack. So we'll give you a tour and let you see all about it. All right, let's get back to why we're here, and that's baseball. So make sure that you chime in tonight. And let's see. Mike Radford said, your thoughts on NO. Is that Norby? Is that who you're going with? Or North Carolina? Help me out with the NO. But anyway, we're Mike, appreciate you tuning in and chiming in as well tonight. We really, really appreciate it. We're going to look at the schedule now for, we'll talk about ECU baseball and what lies ahead. We're getting you ready for this week, and when we have the fellas back, we'll be able to dive into more. Our record, we told you 5-6 overall. We're on a 2-game winning streak as we won yesterday 13-1, and then of course today was 6-1. And I thought the Pirates in the last few innings they put together, the bats woke up. Pruitt, I mentioned him. Pruitt is just looking really, really good. Really happy to see his game is. There was a command there. I thought there was a lot of confidence, and there was a strike 3 called him in. I think it was the 8th inning, and he just he had that fist pump, and I just love that energy. Baseball is a game of failure, but it's a game, man. Have fun out there and do that. By the way, on Tuesday night, I want to give you the schedule really quick. So Tuesday is going to be at Fayetteville at Segra Stadium, and then Gardner-Webb. We have Coastal Carolina for this weekend. Next week, we'll have at VCU, and that'll be a lot of fun. And then we'll have William and Mary at home. So those are your next handful of games. And again, if you have something you'd like to chime in tonight, let us know. Maybe you have a long distance dedication to a fellow Pirate. I don't know. Mike Radford said restrooms or no restrooms on the second deck. I assume you're talking about the observation deck. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it'll be more like a premium seating, so I'm sure they will. Yep, at VCU at the Diamond in Richmond, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's 2 days. That's right, John. So that'll be a lot of fun to check that out. So give us a chance to, I think the schedule, like I said from earlier, is really good. And let's, if you have a chance to check out some games, then we need to have a big Pirate contingent at those games. And I know that our fans travel better than a lot of fan bases in the whole country. So we're very lucky and fortunate to have the fan base that we do. So we'll see if we can get Kyle from LaGrange on. I think he's going to be with us in just a second. And he's going to come in and give, I guess tonight is a cameo. Our good buddy Kyle from LaGrange. So we'll hear from him as well. Let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, I did. I did see. I've been watching a lot of baseball and basketball. Let's see. There we go. Hey, what's up, Kyle?
What's going on, Dave? Sorry to join late, but I got a few minutes here. What have we covered? Have we looked back at the week in baseball?
Yeah, I've just been giving a generic overview because it was just me. So we talked a little bit, and then I'm getting people to chime in. So Kyle from LaGrange is here.
Yeah. So you go back. We want to talk about the Carolina game on Monday because we can just skip that. That was last year, I think. Midweek with the win over ODU, got some momentum going. Friday, I was not able to watch the game. I was at a concert.
You went to
So
great concert, by the way.
yeah, it was. It was. We'll get back to that later, but it was a good concert. But the
show.
huh?
Maybe towards the end of the show we'll do that.
Yeah. So the Friday night, everybody knows what happened. Even if I didn't get to see it, but everybody knows. Had a chance to win the game in the bottom of the ninth. Had the bases loaded, and hit into a double play. Unfortunately, then come out yesterday or Saturday, yesterday, and get the 10-run rule, and then today, winner of Virginia Tech in a good ACC program, and also by doing that, we were co-champions of the LeClair Classic. Virginia Tech would have won it otherwise. So that was a big win today. Gets us back to 500, I believe. I believe we're 5-5.
We're 5-6, but we're in the right direction. We've won 2, so we're headed
5-6. Got midweek against Gardner Webb, and then big series next weekend against Coastal in Greenville.
One of Kyle's favorite series. He's been talking about football, but we certainly can say basketball. Baseball.
Both. I've thought about both football and baseball. I thought we should have been playing them on a regular basis and doing both this year. And so Coastal in Greenville next weekend is a big series. And letting the Virginia Tech win, it's going to give us some confidence. A lot of these young guys to get a win over a so-called name program, even though our baseball program is way better than Virginia Tech's. But still, with that Power 4 ACC stigma, I think it'll give some of the young guys some confidence. We got to take care of midweek against Gardner Webb, and the next week against Coastal is one of those. Of course, you always want to sweep, but it's one of those. If you get 2 out of 3 against Coastal, then you feel really good that the team's starting to mature, and you're starting to see it. I saw it this weekend, even in the loss. I mean, that was just I didn't watch the game Friday, but you got a base loaded with 1 out, and you hit into a double play. It's just one of those things. So if you otherwise we'd have swept the week. So if you count UNC as last weekend, so hit it in the right direction. And Dave and I don't. I know we call this extra innings, but when it's just me and you, hopefully Coach Hill will be able to join us more on a regular basis. But
he will.
Right now it's
got a lot of what people have had, and he's I can relate to him. He's coughing a lot, so
but we hopefully he feels better. But we so we just I don't know. I'm just jumping around a little bit, Dave. I don't know if I'm going to be on the film for a whole till the bottom of the hour. But I basketball. Let's talk basketball for a little bit, and then we'll go back into baseball.
Yeah, I've done that. We can talk more if you want.
Okay, well, I mean, I didn't get a chance to, talk anything or hear what you had to say, but went over Charlotte today. We were up big, almost blew it at the end. That was incredible, really. That second 3 they hit.
Yeah.
And they get the ball back, have a chance to win it. Great defensive play at our end. Then get the ball and throw it away. So you sweep Charlotte for the year. That's our 17th win of the season, our 9th conference win. You got 2 regular season games to go, right? Is it 2 or 3?
2, and then the tournament.
Because you got Tulane and Florida Atlantic.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So 2 tough games to go. Unfortunately, I think even if we were to win these next 2 and get to 19 wins, maybe if you make the championship game in the conference tournament, there's an outside chance of the NIT. But I think it's going to be NCAA or bust because John Gilbert reportedly on Hoist the Colors, according to Steve and I go hoistthecolors.net, subscribe. We're not going to participate in the CBI because the money is going to cost
30,000.
30,000. Yeah, and then I don't know if that's factoring in staying down there for the duration of the tournament or what, but 30,000. Now give me a friggin' break. $30,000 is nothing for a major Division I athletic department.
Yep.
By the way, the most wealthy athletic one of the six most wealthy athletic departments outside of the Power Four conferences
is us.
Yep. So, and we can't afford $30,000 on a basketball tournament. Give me a friggin' break.
And we have donors. Hey, look, we have donors right now that will write a check, and I'm not asking them to do that, but you know that we have donors.
Yeah, no, that's an excuse. And maybe look, and this is where I'll take some heat off Gilbert. If Coach doesn't want to participate in that, if he sees that as a waste of time and he wants to focus on recruiting, then I'll take any heat off our staff, off our administration, off Gilbert, etc. If it was proposed, to I'll say Lebo, if it was proposed to Schwartz, and he said, "No, I want to focus on recruiting. If we can't make NCAA or NIT, I'm not interested." And Gilbert is just saying, "Well, it's not worth the money," instead of putting it on Schwartz, then I apologize to John Gilbert. But John, as I know it now, it's because you don't want to pay $30,000. So if that's the case, I think that's BS. And if this team continues to play well, let's say wins one more regular season game and then makes a run in the tournament, and we don't play in the CBI because of $30,000, that is the most short-sighted bunch of shit I've ever heard in my life. Now, again, if the truth is Gilbert is just, kind of going with what Schwartz wants to do, then, which is not what I've heard, but I'm just saying if that's the case, that Schwartz don't want to play in it, because some coaches don't. Some coaches think those secondary tournaments outside of the NIT, NCAA are a waste of time. If that's the case, then I'll take back any heat on Gilbert.
Well,
but
look,
otherwise, if it's what's being reported, then pay the $30,000.
Yeah, and here's another thing too that I'm going to make the point. And I told you this. I know it's not the same, but at the same time, how many times when we had 3-9 football seasons?
Well, what they'll argue is you make some money back. Yes, the argument used to be you lost money on bowls, but you really don't anymore because the conference kind of divides the money between all the schools and pays expenses, etc. So you do make money off bowl games now, like you used to, and then you didn't for a while. Now you do again. So in what they're saying is, since the CBI is now played in a neutral site in Daytona, at one point, they've done a couple different formats. At one point, they played it at different places,
right?
And then at one point, they went to a neutral site. But the championship game was played home and home. They played a series at one point in the CBI, and the championship game was like a 5-game series that went back and forth. I'm assuming that they've changed the format now. From what I read, according to IGO, it's all played in Daytona now. There's no chance for home games. If that's the case, even all the way through the championship, then again, like I said, they've changed format several times, so that may be the case. IGO may be right on that. Either way, to me, it's worth the $30,000. The point of that being is what Gilbert was saying. There's no chance to make any money off of it. You're not. Apparently, there's no way to make money off of it. It's relatively inexpensive, really, $30,000, but it's a chance for exposure and to create excitement. And I think it's worth $30,000 if we win that thing to create the excitement. And
you would do it.
Do you get a check if you win it? I'm assuming that's. I don't know. I would assume you do. But you look at the CIT. We paid to play in it, but there was a chance to host home games and make some money back, which we did. And apparently that's why we don't want to do the CBI, is because the $30,000 fee, and then there's no chance to make.
Well,
and I don't know if that's a $30,000 fee or if that's the fee plus the cost of staying down there for a week, or if that's all included in the fee. But it's 30 grand is what we're told, and that's the reason we don't want to do it. And like I said, I think it's very short sighted. And I've rambled enough, Dave. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, to add to your point, even though it's not the same thing, football we would do it, baseball we would do it, and
Well,
basketball.
there is no secondary baseball tournament.
I know that.
I
I'm
don't
not
think we
trying to.
would. I
No,
really don't think we would. I
no,
don't
I'm
even know
just
if we
saying.
would participate in the baseball NIT, honestly.
No, I'm just saying. But what my point is that we need. I've been saying for years, and I have been fair to this group, the new administration, the latest administration, I should say, that there's been no love for basketball at our university for many years. So I understand that. So it's not just like, that all of a sudden Gilbert and everybody else doesn't care about basketball. However, having said that, we are not Duke or North Carolina, where that would be an embarrassment to play in the CBI. We would not do it. It would be a really bad year, right? But this year, this is the best season, Kyle, and not one, not two, try 10 years, going back to Lebo, 10 years.
Yeah,
So,
and
my point is, you're not paying $30,000 every single year. And what you have to look at is the exposure this brings to this program. And another thing, John Gilbert, I want to say to you, what about it was senior day today. What about a guy like RJ Felton that has given you so many wins, so many points? I think he's number 2 on the points list now? Help me out, somebody. I believe that's right. You do it for RJ. If nothing else, you do it for the seniors on this team. And you've got young guys that can get experience. It's the same difference.
Well, how about this? How about do it for the fans, the ones that are out there paying for every damn thing? The ones that, go to the games, the ones that watch the games, the ones that have supported this horrible program
for years.
And how about do it for us? I think, and again, I'll say this to Schwartz, if he doesn't want to participate in it. How about do it for the fans? Somebody go back and show those people the CIT run. Show Gilbert, show Schwartz that CIT run and how excited this fan base got. And awesome. I would hate to see, us not participate in the postseason if we, continue to play well down the stretch through the conference tournament. And who knows, maybe we win the damn conference tournament. But I just don't think, even if we win these next 2, and then, like I said, maybe there'd be an outside shot at the NIT, but I just don't think our they don't call it RPI anymore like they do in baseball. The net, yeah. I don't think our net's going to be high enough, even with getting to 19 regular season wins, if that were to happen, 19, and then making it to the championship game of the tournament. I mean, maybe, but probably not. And that's a lot of ifs and buts anyway. I think that's what we would have to do to even be considered for the NIT. And maybe we'll win the damn conference tournament and go to the NCAA, and this will all be a moot point.
Exactly.
But in the meantime, I sure would like to play in the CBI.
Here you go, Kyle. We have some comments for you. John White says, embrace one of the better basketball years. Let them play in the tourney. Well worth it for the team experience. Exposure was $25 grand to the winner in 2023. So there you go. Maybe you get that money back. And we've got a great, so we have a chance. We obviously won 17. We're doing something right. And here you go. How about Johnny Robertson, Kyle? I agree with Kyle 100%. We need to develop our basketball culture in any way possible. That's exactly right.
Well, I'm going to ask everybody to take the time, spread the word, and maybe I'll go post it on HTC or get the word out. Email John Gilbert if you feel this way. Email John Gilbert. I believe that I don't want to give out emails to Gilbert's like real trade email. That'll probably get us banned. But I think the one for everybody else is what is it, ad@ecu.edu, something like that. Look it up. Just Google John Gilbert email and you'll get the generic one that I think is filtered through someone else before it gets to him. But email Gilbert and get the word out for everybody else to email Gilbert that's how you feel you want to participate in it. Just because somebody has made a decision, nothing has been made public, and you can change their mind and they don't even have to acknowledge. Now, I think it would be cool if they acknowledged this fan base wanted it and we're giving it to them. But you don't even have to acknowledge it. But if you get enough people behind it, maybe it'll make a difference.
And by the way, Justin Butts says the CIT championship run was when he was at ECU. It was the best ever.
Justin, tell your daddy. Tell your daddy. Tell your daddy. Dusty all of a sudden to get on the damn phone with Gilbert and tell him we want to participate in the CBI, and he'll make a donation to him, an extra couple grand or whatever. I mean, get the hauler going down south toward Daytona. Justin Butts wants to spend the week in Daytona, baby.
Now, the Daytona 500 is gone, but we have the CBI.
There you go.
He said,
"Hey, during spring break time in Daytona, that ain't bad. Goodness. That ain't bad. That could be visually appealing."
Woo! I do not think the CBI games are televised as this year is what Johnny Robertson says.
But they're probably on a streaming service somewhere.
Here's the great one. Will says, I say you let the players vote on it. If they want to play, find a way to make it happen. There's no way, and I love this, Will. I love your passion, man. There's no way you will convince me it's a money issue. Exactly.
I'll say let
Justice says already on it.
Who said? All right, good. I'll say let the fans vote on it. How about that? At what point do the fans matter? We're always told the players. It's all about the players. Well, damn it, who pays the players? I mean, I told you, once you start wanting to get treated like employees, don't get mad when I treat you like an employee.
Yeah, we are customers. Like, by the way, get your season tickets for football, 1-800-DIAL-ECU or ecpirates.com. You can get them anytime. And Kyle, you want to talk some more baseball while we have it? I think we've
like I say, good wins at Virginia Tech. I don't even know what their record was, but like I say, just beating an ACC opponent is always good for the fan base, and it's going to get the I think it'll give the team some confidence again as we head into you don't want to look over Gardner Webb, but we can't be overlooking anybody right now. But if you hit into Coastal Carolina next weekend, and anybody you want to point out from this weekend, Dave, in terms of performance?
Yeah, I was going to do. I'm glad you said that. Hold on one second. Let's see. Is that Avera? I hope I'm saying that. And beating Virginia Tech, ECU moved up 88 spots in RPI.
Jesus Christ almighty.
And Virginia Tech moved up 3 spots to 33. I know it's meaningless this early, but thank you very much.
It's not. You say it is, but it's not, because you got to get there, and it's going to fluctuate throughout the season. But, a game like that, who knows what kind of season Virginia Tech is going to have in the ACC. A game like that can be the difference if we're a bubble team to, to make a regional. Who knows? Let's say we don't win the conference tournament, or, we don't win the conference tournament or whatever. Let's say we're a bubble team. So, no, it's not. It doesn't matter. It does matter.
Yeah, and I would argue that the way that you make hosting a regional is not May or June. Excuse me.
I just don't see us in a hosting position this year. But you're right. I mean, all the wins count, and if we are in a position to host, who knows? A win like that can make a difference. But either way, it's a good win. And to mention the jump in RPI, that's crazy. And yes, I know early in the year RPI is weird.
Justice says, what do you think the crowd will be on Tuesday night that's against Gardner Webb at Segra Stadium?
Where the hell is Segra Stadium? Is that in Charlotte?
No, Fayetteville.
Fayetteville. I have no idea. That's a great question.
I'll say 3,000.
I don't see Gardner Webb bringing anybody.
There's a lot of Pirate fans. I'll just go with, I don't know what they hold. I'll go with a safe bet of, I think 3,000 is reasonable. I'm not saying it'll sell out.
For Gardner Webb, you're gonna have some folks in Fayetteville that maybe just check it out for a college baseball game.
Some Greenville folks will go.
Say again?
You got some Greenville folks will go. You have some Raleigh people that go. The Wilmington area.
I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say 1,800.
Okay. All right. Well, hey. Whatever, look, no matter how many Pirate fans we have, it'll be loud. I will tell you, it will be loud there for sure. And in fact, by the way, Kyle, one of your favorite teams, Wilmington. We have them on March the 18th, a midweek game, and that's also at Segra Stadium.
Well, whatever happened, Granger Stadium was going to host East Carolina Wilmington in 2020. It was going to be on your birthday, and or am I making that up? What's it going to be? When's your birthday?
No, you're right. It was we were going. Y'all were joking that you were going to celebrate my birthday there.
Yeah. No, we were. We had all got tickets.
Yeah, I remember.
And then COVID happened. So I wish at some point they would play that in Kinston again, or actually play it in Kinston. Granger Stadium.
It is nice.
And it's great, and it's historic, and it's for Wilmington and East in Greenville. It's obviously 30 minutes from Greenville, and an hour and 15 from Wilmington.
Jacksonville.
But I'm just talking about between those two schools.
Yeah.
So it's makes a lot of sense, and it's a cool old stadium. And now with the Bird Dogs, I don't think the season starts till May. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it's early May. It's either early May or late April, but I'm 90% sure it's early May for the Frontier League. So, the point being, you have even more time to get a midweek game in there. You got all the way until well into the end of April.
Yeah. Here you go. This was a UNC game last year, but we had over 6,000 there at Segra Stadium. Jonathan lives in Fayetteville, one of our regulars now. So.
Yeah, but that's UNC. It was the UNC game.
Yeah, we broke the record for the most fans to attend a game at Segra.
Yeah, we're not going to get anywhere near that for Gardner Webb. He knows that, obviously. But
would love to see us play a game in Granger, Kyle, is what Justin says. He umpired a few games there.
Yeah.
Will says Segra Stadium has a nice setup, good stadium to take the whole family to. And Justin says that umpire locker room has this recliner that's mighty comfortable. Did you sleep during the game, Justin? Did you take a nap like between 4th and 6th innings and run back out there? Or I guess it was before the game. I'm just joking, but I love a recliner. How about you, Kyle?
Yeah, no, he had one of the ball girls. No, wait a minute. The ball girls still are. Never mind. I'm just not going to make the joke.
He said he wanted to. Yeah, you sneak in there, off the 4th or 6th innings and run back out in the 7th. Let's see. Jonathan said, "Yeah, we won't get 6,000 for Gardner Webb," and I agree. I'm not saying
I don't think we'll get 3,000. Dave, I hope you're right. I hope it is 3,000, but I just don't see that. I don't. I'm glad. They must have paid us enough money. I wonder who they bought that game from. Did they buy it from us or Gardner Webb? I'm assuming us. I hope they gave us.
With us.
They must have given us enough money that that we would make for it as a home game. So I hope they're happy with the crowd because I'm sure after we sold it out last year for UNC, they wanted to get us back in there any way they could, and that was what we had available to them. And hopefully it draws well enough that they're pleased.
Justin said my first game back after COVID was Granger, so from umpiring, so that's really cool. Yeah, we need to do the while we have a chance and we're getting close to the end of the show, I want to make sure we first do the PGX Player of the Week. And who do you have, Kyle? For the player
I did not come prepared, Dave. I was hoping you did.
Well, let's put it out again. I think I know who I like. Dixon Williams, but who do you guys? Who do you like?
Player of the week and then our pitcher of the week. Everybody in the crowd. Whoever the majority wins, we're going to let the audience choose.
It is your pick this week on who the player of the week will be. Oh, by the way, it looks like Justin says he might be doing some Frontier games. Well, let us know. We'll come and support you, and I'll be yelling at you, Justin.
That's pretty cool. So he'll be doing Bird Dogs games. It's the only Frontier League team in this area, so that's got to be what he means.
Dixon Williams. Okay, Johnny, you're the stats guy, but Dixon Williams is the guy that I was going to pick. So that makes me, when you're Johnny Stats and you say Dixon Williams, that makes me feel very, very good. And I know who my pitcher is going to be. But let me get that pitcher of the week. And our
pitcher of the week
I'm going to go with Pruitt. What do you guys think? I'm going with Pruitt. Man, he looked really, really good this weekend.
Works for me.
And Will says he agreed. He agrees with Johnny. Austin Irby had a great week too. Yes, he did, John. I appreciate that. What do you guys, who else wants to weigh in on the pitcher of the week? PGX Club's pitcher of the week. And we'll do that as we're going to, in a handful of minutes, we'll wrap up the show. So I wanted to make sure that while Kyle is here, man, in fact, my son Alex was wearing his PGX gloves. They have when you can actually get them monogrammed. You have them up there and you get them custom made, and they were very, very good. Norman Quick says Norby. So Ethan Norby, he likes Norby. Norby did look good on Friday night, and that will, that six. I think it was that the sixth inning where they gave up 6 runs. We had one bad inning, and that's all it takes in baseball. But if you take away the inning or half those runs, obviously win the game on Friday. So let's see. John White says Jenkins' start was great, but probably Pruitt again. I think you're right, John. I'm going to go with Pruitt. Pruitt, man, I think it was the 8th inning, Kyle, and he struck out a batter, and he came off the mound, and he did a fist pump. I just love that energy when a pitcher gets, he did great for our team.
It used to be really frowned upon in baseball, the fist bump pitches and all by the pitchers, and it's not anymore. And I like it. I like showing emotion, as long as it's not to the point of taunting.
Right. We could talk about basketball again today. Oh my gosh. Oh man, that was something else today. I
know the ESPN announcers really put a lot of that on Schwartz.
I don't think that, and I will say this because the same thing with Cliff Godwin. My Uncle Roger, he managed the Giants. He managed the Padres in the late 70s and pitching coach for the Detroit Tigers. When he was a manager and or coach, he told me something years ago as a teenager, and this stuck with me. And it hit me while this was going on, Kyle. So you understand where I'm going with this a second. He said, listen, he said, when, in other words, it's not when things are not going your way and you're going after the umpires or you're going after, this case, the officials. But he was right, because he said whenever his players, whenever he was trying to protect his players or something, there was a really egregious call, he went running out of the dugout and onto the field, and he was fussing with every single, one of the umpires, and sometimes he got ejected. But I felt like that's what Schwartz was doing, was taking up for his players and looking out for them. And sometimes, you can ask Cliff, sometimes you get kicked out of a game or you show a lot of emotion.
Well, he must not have said anything too out of line because they didn't tee him up.
No.
And I don't think anybody's going to be fined for anything. I don't think, anyway. Somebody said some punches being thrown. No. I don't know. I didn't see any punches being thrown. I think the announcers might have been a little dramatic.
And putting it on that Schwartz escalated. There was nothing he did to escalate that situation. So I disagreed with announcers then, and I thought overall they did a good job today. And when they started talking about that, I said, here I go again. I'm actually complimentary of the announcers, and they're going to do that. But anyway, that was tough. But the good thing is it didn't cost us a game. And again, I loved when Coach Schwartz was doing this, he was getting the crowd into it. I'm sorry. I like a passionate, just like with going back to Pruitt. I like passion.
And I think something else you're seeing, we're so little success in basketball.
Exactly.
It doesn't take much to get our fan base starting to be excited. And that's why I say, I think it would be really stupid if the fan base is just starting to get excited about basketball to end the season. So maybe it'll take care of itself and they'll go win the damn conference tournament. But, I'm again saying, email Gilbert, everybody, spread the word to email Gilbert and let them know we want to participate in the CBI. If the NCAA tournament or, maybe the miracle comes up for the NIT, but I'm not holding my breath.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Jonathan said, man, I tell you what, Pruitt had a really nice bite to his slider tonight. I agree, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Also, I really like Lance Williams. He has some accuracy issues, but he has great movement on the ball and solid movement on his fastball and solid movement on the slider. I agree, Jonathan. I tell you what, these guys coming in, again, comes down to experience and these type of. That's why I love not only to honor Keith LeClair, but I think a tournament like this. This is like a regional atmosphere. John White, former pitcher with Coach O, one of the best pitchers ever, says, "Is Lance Williams okay? Anyone heard? I have not heard anything, and they don't. They're very be to fair to Cliff. They're very tight to the chest, if you will. They don't tell us any of those kind of things. So we probably won't know anything until one of the games, maybe the next few days." Let's
Check
see.
oystercolors.com. They may have something on it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's do. We're down to the last few minutes of the show. So, do you have any last calls on questions and comments that we can get in? Again, get your football tickets. I renewed mine a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, schedule is, man. I'm going to say the conference did not do us any favors. It's a very appealing home schedule. You got BYU at home, of course Campbell for what that is, but BYU at home, Campbell at home. You got Army at home. You got Memphis at home. You got Charlotte at home. So some very appealing home games. But they give us Army right after
BYU,
and it may be a Thursday night game. We'll know that at the end of May. Then you got right after that we got Tulane. So you got BYU, Army, Tulane all in a row, and so the conference does us no favors there to start the conference schedule off with Army and Tulane, and then we close the conference schedule on the road back-to-back games with UTSA and Florida Atlantic. So the conference, back-to-back road games close the season, and then the first two conference games are Army and Tulane. So I don't like the way the conference schedule was laid out. I think it's a pretty fairly challenging conference schedule. You get Army, you get Memphis and Tulane back on the schedule, so it's a much tougher conference schedule than what we had this year. You lose Navy, so you trade. Let's say we're trading Navy for Memphis, then you're adding Tulane, so it's a tough conference schedule.
No doubt. In fact, Justice said he's going to try to make Florida Atlantic. That game is going to be on Thanksgiving weekend down in Boca Raton. So Thanksgiving in Boca Raton and Boca. And, of course, the Tulane game is before that. But
and of course, Coastal. We didn't talk about that. That's another.
Yeah.
That's the road. And we didn't talk about any of the road non-conference games. We already knew those days. So you got Coastal on the road and NC State on the road. It's a tough schedule. It's a much tougher schedule than last year. You open up with NC State, Coastal on the road. I don't know how they did in the portal. I don't think very well. It's a very winnable game on the road. Particularly, look, I don't want to dive too deep into football, but this football team, if we don't really do some work on the interior D line and the linebacking core in the portal, particularly interior D line, but would like to get both. If we don't in the portal, then I think we're looking at a 6-6 team. If we can beef up that D line after the spring and get a couple more quality linebackers, and I'd like to maybe get one more receiver.
Yeah, you're right.
We could be I think that's the difference. I think post spring, provided we hold on to everybody else we have that we want, nobody poaches us, and we're able to get, you have some guys on SEC schools, ACC schools, Big 12 schools post spring that are seniors that are going to know they're not going to see the field because they're buried on the depth chart. But if you're, if you're third string, defensive line or linebacker at an SEC or ACC or Big 12 school and you're a senior, you're probably pretty good. So you're going to have some of those guys out there post spring. And if we can shore up that D line in the middle and linebacking core and maybe get one more receiver, I think we could be a 8-win football team. If not, I think we're looking at 6-6. That's our high mark. We're going to be able to score, but man, I don't think we're going to be able to stop anybody if we don't do something about the middle of that defense.
I have a question for you guys, including Kyle. For my new business called the Snack Shack in Williamston, I'm looking at hosting a tournament in Madden and or NCAA football. Obviously, you have to have a license, and I'll do all that, whatever it takes. Is that something you guys would participate in? So,
I'm not good enough to participate in a tournament. I'd go watch it.
Okay. I'm just thinking about doing that, so I want to make sure. Just wanted to see, putting an idea I have out.
You have to have a gambling license for that? What kind of license do you have to have?
No, licensing through EA Sports, I know for Madden for sure. I've already looked that up. I haven't for NCAA, but I thought it would be fun to have
Boy,
that.
I bet you could probably get away with it, Dave. I don't know. I don't. I wouldn't. I don't know. I believe I'd chance it. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to come after you there in Williamston.
We shall see. But anyway, okay. Jonathan. All right. This we'll make this our last question. Jonathan says, "Oh, I wanted to ask y'all, how are you feeling about the O-line core for next year? Did we have any significant offseason?
I think our O-line's fine. I don't think it's going to blow you away. I think a lot of our O-line has to do with coaching and the offense we play. I think we play an offense that is conducive for having just mediocre talent in the O-line. That is not putting down anybody on the O-line.
No.
I think our O-line's fine. I think it's going to be about what it was, the second half of this year.
We lost a lot of D-line.
And we did. Yes, and our O-line got by. If you look at that O-line, the second half of the year, you look at the way we were able to run the ball and the way we protected Hauser most of the time. Not always. Sometimes they were able to get to him. But the O-line was playing pretty well. Now, O-line should be fine. O-line's not really an issue. We should be able to score this year. That shouldn't be a problem. My concern again is the interior of the defense.
Will said, had a chance to hang out with the Hodge brothers last night. Great young men. Glad we are getting higher character guys like this in our program. And I agree 1,000% as those guys are out of Kentucky. One brother is the quarterback, and the other, help me out on that, is the wide receiver. Will would know their names off the top of my head. I cannot remember their names. So anyway, Kyle, before we let you go, tell everybody about that concert. I wish I could have been there because it's one I've been wanting to see. I know you had a great time. Was that Friday night?
Yeah, it was good. It was at Liberty Showcase Theater in Liberty, but the Frontman Tour.
Cole and Connor were the names for the Hodge brothers. Thank you. Cole Hodge and Connor Hodge. Thank you, Will.
But it's the Frontman. This is the former lead singer of Little Texas, Tim Rushlow, the former lead singer of Lone Star. Oh God, what's his name?
The song "Amazed" and I know.
Amazed and all that stuff. Richie McDonald,
yes.
And then the former lead singer of Restless Heart, Larry Stewart. So all three of them together. They're touring together in a group called the Frontmen, and they play hits by Little Texas, Restless Heart, and Lone Star. And then they played 3 songs that were new songs that they were doing together, and covered the Eagles. And but it's so you get part of the show's Restless Heart, part of it's Lone Star, part of it's Little Texas. So
great
it's
stuff.
a good show. Yeah, it's a good concert. And I kind of, if you've ever seen the Roots and Boots show with Aaron Tippin, Sammy Kershaw.
Oh yeah, I want to see that. Yeah,
Aaron Tippin, Sammy Kershaw, and Colin Ray. It's basically the same thing, but with a band, but with former lead singers of a band. In fact, I thought, man, you for the Weldon Mills Theater, if you book those two together and then had them all on one ticket, where you did. Anyway, I'll talk to you about that off the air.
Okay.
That's more something you'd be interested in. But anyway, it's a good show.
It's concert season, so Kyle and I love sports and we love concerts.
Next up's Brooks and Nunn.
Oh man, that's going to be the end of the month, right?
Yeah, in March. Well, yeah, it is March now. So yeah,
I've seen them 3 times, and those guys.
This will be the 3rd time for me.
I've seen them in Nashville twice, and then once, like the regular tour. So,
I'm in Raleigh. I'm in Raleigh in '97, and in Greensboro in 23.
They're great and great guys, and I'll tell you more about that, Kyle, off the air. But I've told you some stories. But those guys are very down to earth and very approachable. So I love that when you have guys that you admire and they're not arrogant. So
Yeah.
Two really cool dudes that were, as you know, were solo artists. They put them together, created magic. They broke up for a while.
I actually own Kix Brooks' solo album. I have it on cassette that was re-released after Brooks and Dunn was big, and I bought it on cassette in the mid-90s.
Oh wow!
And it wasn't bad actually.
Yeah, he's got a good voice, so like Ronnie.
Well, I think if it would have ever been released, when it was recorded, it never released and released later. But you remember the song "Sacred Ground" by McBride and the Ride?
Yeah, I do.
It was a top 5 hit for McBride and the Ride in '93. Anyway, Kix had recorded that in '89 on that album. So and just there's a fun fact for you.
I did not know about the Kix part, but great. It is a good song. All right, Pirates have a big week this week as they're going to be at Segra Stadium there in Fayetteville. So Jonathan, get a win for us. They'll be taking on Gardner Webb, and then of course the Coastal Series, which is going to be great to have them not in a regional but actually a weekend series, and that'll be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we'll have next Sunday night, as always, we'll have Extra Innings. Hard to believe, Kyle, season 7. This is episode 3. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll have episode 4 next Sunday night at 8 right here on the Sports Objective. Good night, everybody, and as always, go Pirates.
You're watching the Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.